Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to NinjaChris Silly History. I hope you've all had a wonderful month, and I hope it's all been a wonderful warm month now. We're starting to come into warm and more confused weather again. Anyway, I hope you've managed to get through it. I know some of you over in America are having trouble with rain as well, so it's been a bit mixed all over the world, it seems. Speaking of the world, let's go down on the continents a bit and let's have a look into West Africa, which is Ghana in this case. We're looking at Ghana, and I felt like I should look at something like this because of going to Derby City Church and everything, and meeting a lot of people who are from Ghana or are just from Africa in general. And they are really nice people. And I thought, hey, it just came to me as like, why don't I do a show on the history of Ghana? Because I was just as curious anyway. So essentially, I just gonna share what I've learned over the month. Whether I can deliver it properly or not, I hope I can. So we'll just keep chugging along. So when we start, let's get started with the history of Ghana. It started with the Kintampo culture as such. So it was a few thousand years ago, obviously, when this happened. This was obviously after like prehistoric and stuff, where the ice caps and everything melted down, and then suddenly land was sort of formed. And then, yeah, now the people who moved in to where modern day Ghana really is now is the Kintampo culture. So it was, I think about that time, it would have been more eastern region of modern Ghana. We're going to have to imagine on the map here because I can't guarantee I'm getting it perfectly right. So forgive me. And everything was a bit confused at that time because, wow, there's so many different styles of people. Mostly in Ghana, it's mostly Akan people who are from Ghana, but you've also got the Fanti people and Bono people and stuff. They're all different cultures and stuff like that. So back in the BC era, they were all trying to come in. So we're looking in the Stone Age really here for the Kintampo culture, sort of. And this carried through for quite a while. And the funny thing is that because it wasn't called Ghana at the time, it wasn't really named anything else. I don't know whether they even called it Kintampo. I'm not even sure if they knew what that was. But anyway, there was actually an ancient Ghana empire, which, funnily enough, is nowhere near, well, not, it's in West Africa, but it's not where Ghana is now, these days, anyway, because the Ghana Empire, or the Wagadu Empire, as it's also named, which actually was around from 300 to 1200 AD. So they were working, but they're more in the central, they more in Mali and Mauritania. So they're a bit further up, more central West Africa, essentially. So it's very, very interesting how it worked. Ghana only actually gained the name Ghana because of this Kwame 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 fella in 1957 when they when they gained independence. It was him who named Ghana Ghana, because I found out that the name Ghana actually means warrior in some cultures, in some places. Ghana actually means you're a warrior. So he wanted to bring back that name, I'm guessing. back in 1957. There was a lot of stuff that happened before 1957, of course, though, and we'll gradually be getting onto all that. But obviously, we're starting around there, so it's not like they were doing nothing. It's just they were basically living for themselves back around that time, back around the area where modern day Ghana is. It around the time of the early AD period, they were more just looking after themselves, building things. They were quite intelligent considering they were still growing in culture at that point. So they were still finding things, and I mentioned places. Eventually, they found something called the Bono State, or Bono Manso, as it was called a little as well, which was found in 1000 AD, which continued all the way through till 1723. You got to bear in mind as well, quite a lot of these are different parts of modern day Ghana because it was quite split up. I know on a map, Ghana looks quite small compared to some of the other stuff, but they were split quite nicely because it started with the Bono state, but then it gradually started splitting off because it was more central, the Bono state was, and then because that was the first real centralized state, Akan state, that really got it started the ball rolling essentially. And then they kind of started splitting off because then you had the kingdom of Twifo. Forgive me for the names. I'm sorry to my Ghanaian friends. I am probably butchering the language. I do apologize now. These names are very, very hard to pronounce. I will be honest with you. So I'm guessing this is all what you're coming for. You'll come for a laugh just to watch me try and butcher something. So the kingdom of Twifo was a southern thing that became in about 1480, so around that time, and eventually they kind of died out in the 1800s. This was a kind of southern kingdom as such, so they were all there among others, along with and then came along the Akwamu Empire. They started in 1680, and they kind of, well, I wouldn't say they died out in 1730. They kind of just blended in with the Ashanti Empire, which came in 1701. So, and then you've got the hegemony of Denkira, which started in 1620 and ended in 1690. That was the hegemony, but Denkira didn't really finish until 1701 with the Battle of Fayasi, which led to the Ashanti Empire in 1701. So yeah, the thing is, with the Akwamu Empire, they may have combined themselves with the Ashanti, but it was the Akwamu who were on the southeast and the coast. They were actually allies and teachers of the Ashanti Empire. So when they finished in 1730, they never really fully finished because they were still within the empire. Just some of them had moved a little bit because the Ashanti Empire just took the whole. In 1701, Ashanti Empire pretty much wanted everything. I used like a little Pac-Man reference. I consider it like Pac-Man, the way, because in 1701 they had a little bit in the middle, then they gradually started gobbling up other little things. So by the 1900s, they'd gathered such a big lot, but they were also battling with the Europeans as well, which, as some the first Europeans to come and have a look at the place, essentially, was the Portuguese. So we'll get onto Europe in a bit, and I want to say hello to my friends who are here. Hey Anna, how you doing? Very good to see you here. Paul, that's Coleman. Hey Mowley, how you doing? Hope all is good. I'm glad you're here. I hope you've all had a wonderful month. I hope things are picking up in your life. If you're struggling right now, I hope things pick up in future. But hope you're all having a good day, because I'm absolutely roasting here. But yeah, but that's Britain at the moment. I suppose it's all my waving my arms about. Yeah, let's disco. No, we're not discoing. No. Let's not go to. We're not going to a disco. Okay, we won't go down that route. So yeah, survive in the best way you can. That is absolutely all we can ask of you. Just keep on chugging along. I love you all. I love you guys, and yeah, I love talking about a really, really hot country as well. Apparently, it's really hot in Ghana, but it's really grown over the years, and it's really grown in popularity. It's a good holiday destination now. As a fan, you can have a lot of fun there. They've got a lot of good stuff going on, and yeah, they've got families in church who live or have family in Ghana to come to church. They don't live in Ghana at that particular moment in time, obviously, but they have family or relatives or something over there. I feel it's a nice thing to do, and yeah, it satisfies a bit of my curiosity as well, I suppose, because I'm always a very, very curious person about things. I always want to know what's what. So all I'm doing is sharing what I've researched, and yeah, I don't mind. I love it. So yeah, it was. So yeah, back to where we were. We were coming to the Europeans coming in. It was the first ones to actually have a look was in 1471 when the Portuguese had a look, and they came round to a coastal area, which was nice for them to settle, to have a look around. They did a bit of trading. So 1471, they came across. They started trading and everything. They didn't really set up shop or not until 1482, which is the time when they built Almina Castle, which is a fortress that is built on the coastline, and that's where they mostly had to stay. Because if you went inland, you had to pay tax. That's essentially what you did. So whoever was the leader of the empires at the time on the inland, so when you're about 1470s, you're looking at the Akuma Empire or the Kingdom of Twifu. You're looking around there, you've got to pay a toll, you can't just, it's like a hotel essentially. You've built your own hotel and you've got to pay to stay in it. Essentially. That's how I see it anyway. And then the Portuguese eventually left in 1642, and the Dutch took over Elmina Castle in 1637. But the Dutch first had a look around in 1598. They were having a look around a bit before that as well, because of the times that they were in, because there was a few wars going on around that time, and people needed stuff. So yeah, the times were a bit tricky around that time, because we were just coming towards the end of the Tudor era around this, and the start of the Stuart era, which is where and then we became kind of friends with the Dutch and that. So yeah, things got very, very complicated, which then led into the British Gold Coast, because that's what we as Europeans, we called it the Gold Coast, because because that's where we got loads of gold. Apparently, that's where we got all our gold. We picked it all up, gold, chocolate, the cocoa beans and stuff, and all foods and different spices and stuff. All this cool stuff that we still get. I think there was stuff like ivory as well, which was really, really good for us to have that. And then, well, we British, we took the land eventually. Our king, I think it was George IV, who was the king at the time in 1821, was when we first started to take the businesses and the forts. But we didn't take the land at that point. We just took control of the forts, and political sort of, the government just wanted to set up shop a little bit. But it wasn't until 1874 when us Brits got inside, and we took the land. Though it did take it did take 5 Anglo-Ashanti wars from 1824 to 1900 in order to actually sort everything out with them. But we eventually stopped them, and we took them. And the last war in 1900 was called the War of the Golden Stool, which was apparently a fake one that they made. They'd actually buried the real one, and they made a replica one because they worshipped a golden stool or something. It was symbolic to them anyway. Or we were stealing it from them, I think, or something. We were being naughty at the time, so forgive us. But we had to go through them Ashanti wars because we were sick of having to pay a toll. So we fought with them essentially, and that was when the Dutch Gold Coast also in 1872. So when we took the land in 1874, the Dutch were no longer an issue. It was now ours to take. So yes, we took it, as you do. So eventually the war ended. And yes, I'm doing okay, Marley. Yes, surviving. Ring on the mirror ball and let's go disco. Not sure if I've got the energy. Okay. Think I'm fed up. Yeah, I'm fed up with loads of wars as well. It's hard to not talk about the wars, I'm afraid. And the when we as Europeans came across, we also, unfortunately, this is a sad time for people, but there was the transatlantic slave trade. I was trying to avoid talking about it as much as possible, but I'm afraid it's something that is in our history, and it happened apparently from about 1650, so mid 17th century, to 1807, when us Brits fought for their freedom. So yes, we did it. We stopped slavery across Europe, I believe, and stuff. Some still continued across the seas, of course, because that's how things were back then. People had to hire, was it cheap labor or something back then? They had to do something to get something. They had to get their work done, but they didn't want to fork out loads of money, essentially. But yeah, unfortunately, them sort of things had to happen. But I'm glad in 1807 we managed to sort that out. It was right in the middle of the Napoleonic Wars as well. So we were down in Africa trying to sort out the slave trade while we were also trying to fight Napoleon. So yeah, look at us. We love to multitask, though I think quite a lot of the weaponry we get from there, the muskets and all the weaponry and stuff, and the special stuff to make the gunpowder stuff. We get stuff from Africa. I think we still do get that stuff from Africa, but I think it's more fair trade now that when we get the stuff. So I'm glad that things aren't as bad as they used to be. But yes, the world is still in the toilet, and I'm sorry that people have to go through all this, and it's some of it is just down to religious stuff. People seriously doubting the religion that, well, I don't know. I don't even know if it's religion because back then it was mostly Islam flat coming through. So around that time in West Africa, it was Islam that was flat coming through until about the 16th, 17th century when we had the Reconquista from the Spanish, where they finally took back a bit of Catholicism into the world. So that was good for them. They sorted it out. Obviously, we've still got Islams in Ghana in the world, and that's quite fine. I'm happy. Muslims are wonderful people. I've spoke to some while I've been on outreaches and stuff. I speak to them, and they're really nice people. There's nothing wrong with them at all. I just agree from a different point of view. We just have a difference of opinions, to say the least. I suppose I say that, but they're people. I love them. I love the people. Those who want to share their love, I'll love them. And even if they're not entirely loving people, I still care for them because they're still living on this earth. So I still care for the people on earth. So yeah, just I just love talking about, and I just love Derby City Church about how we can come together as different cultures. We can share what we've been through, because it's fascinating how much that everybody has to come through, especially from Africa. They probably, I don't know if I don't know whether I could handle the heat. One of my friends said it's more of a dry heat and stuff, so I'm not overly sure what it means. I'm just guessing there's no water in the air, so it just feels like you've walked into a wall of heat. Sometimes I get that feeling, but I'm guessing it's nothing like over there in Africa right now. I just love my friends who come from there, and I'm glad. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm glad we've got out of that slave trading nonsense that they were doing, but I suppose back then that's all they knew. But I'm glad we can all share company as one. So yeah, it's an amazing turnaround that we've had in the world. We are, and there's also another bit about the Gold Coast region. There was also somewhere called Togoland, which was essentially a German protectorate from 1884 to 1914. So just as World War One was starting, Togoland then became the British Togoland, the Ghanaian side of it anyway, in 1916 after a lot of war and fighting. Sorry, Mowley. but we're on more war here. But we already know about World War One and World War Two. I think Ghana tried to stay pretty much out of World War Two, but I think they obviously got affected. But it was British Togoland back then, and funnily enough, the French Togoland is now the country of Togo, hence the Togo land. They just put them both together for some reason. Thankfully, they separated it off and dropped the land. Now we've got Togo and Ghana. I don't know if some of them still speak French in Togo. I don't know. Maybe they do. If they do, they do. Oui, oui. Whatever. Salvation Army have safe houses for people who are going through that. You fed up as well. People seem to forget that we are all part of one family, the human family. Amen. Well, yes, Philly, we are. We all bleed red blood, is what I say. The sky here is going a beautiful purple with the sunset. I don't know. I can't see the sun now. I've had to switch my bedroom light on in a weird way because I knew it would be getting darker halfway through. So I could have just opened my curtains, but because it is 9:30 around about now, I have to put my light on while it's still light outside, so it's a bit funny on the eyes for a little bit. But now, because the sun's going in now, and it merges nicely. So yeah, it's amazing what the sky can do, though, isn't it? It's amazing how the sky can change colours. I mean, you've got something that we've got called the Northern Lights. Now, I haven't personally seen the Northern Lights, but I've heard that they're pretty beautiful when you see them in the sky. And sometimes you can see planets from miles away. If everything's aligned correctly, you can see the planets and stuff. And that's just amazing stuff. That you, yeah. So where are we now? Yes, we've just finished with the Gold Coast section because the Gold Coast officially changed its name, as we know, in 1957 to Ghana. So now we have the country of Ghana, which is nowhere near the ancient Ghanaian Empire. It sounds weird, but Kwame, the revolutionary of the Gold Coast, and he was a prime minister of the Gold Coast from 1952 until 1957. So they obviously trusted him. He was a revolutionary, so he was trying to make a stand, and eventually in 1957 he made that stand, and he created something called the Dominion of Ghana, where he became the prime minister of Ghana, which is where the Dominion of Ghana stayed from 1957 to 1960, which the Dominion basically meant that we still had connections with England. They were kind of, Kwame was friends with Elizabeth II, essentially. So they hung out. Well, I wouldn't say they hung out together, but they still shared a little bit of time with each other. They were still allowed to talk, and Queen Elizabeth still owned a little bit there. But it wasn't until 1960 where Kwame got the first republic, and Ghana says, this is mine now. Leave Britain. Even though Ghana, does actually have quite a lot of British people still living there, and some British people actually go over and live in Ghana. So why not? You can move around if you feel comfortable doing it. It's fine. So the first of the republics went from 1960 to 66, where he was the president. Then he turned from prime minister to president because that was his now. It wasn't just a prime minister where it was like connection to England. So now we have a president of Ghana, and he had not. Unfortunately, in 1966 there was a little bit of a change for 3 years from the rest of 66 to 69. It was basically a military regime. It became so the military essentially took over, and well, I'd say they had control, but I don't know if they did. It was something called the National Liberation Council, the NLC, to put it easily, I suppose. But the military basically, it was them kind of taking over. They did what they wanted to do. They made their decisions themselves, and it wasn't until 1969 when they got a second republic with President Kofi Buzia. Buzia. Kofi Buzia? That it'll do. This was a short second republic. Bearing in mind this one was 1969 to 1972. So I suppose they had a fairly decent 3 years. The only thing is they were struggling with the economy and stuff, and they were constantly having little battles with the military because the military wanted to start a coup a lot, so they wanted to take over again. So in 1972 to 1979 they did just that. They invited the Supreme Military Council, the SMC. So they started doing their own thing again after that second republic. There was a lot of war based and stuff back then. And then in 1979 there was a guy called Jerry Rawling, and he had a coup on June the 4th. He had a June the 4th revolution, and where he basically tried to had an unsuccessful coup, actually, because they managed to make a third republic where Hilla Limman took over as a civilian president, but she was still, I'm not sure if it's a man or I think it might be a she. I'm not sure. But yeah, we had them on the presidency for a couple of years, from 1979 to 1981, until good old Jerry Rawlings decided he was not happy with how they started to run things, I guess. So good old Jerry Rawlings decided to take matters into his own hands again. Thing is, Jerry Rawlings, I think he was Scottish or something. He came from England, I think, and he was a aeroplane. It was obviously a military leader and stuff. So he took over again, but he actually did fairly well. He was actually showing that he actually cared when he took over in 1981, and it went all the way through till 1993, and he was actually looking after the people, and he actually cared about looking after the country, looking after it. So people were very, very controversial with Mr. Rawlings idea of things. They were like, is he playing me, or is this guy actually for real? He was just trying to take us over, and now he's took us over, and now he's being nice to us. What's going on here? What are we doing? And then it was him who created the Fourth Republic in 1993, and then Jerry Rawling, he became president after what he did 20 years earlier. Now he's president until 2001, I believe. Now he's the good guy, but some people probably still see him as the bad guy. Probably a controversial era for people, I think. There's something that you want to get involved too much in, I suppose, but it was a bit of a controversial section. But quite a lot of politics is. But we're currently in the Fourth Republic, so the past 30 odd years, well, was it about 34 years now? Maybe more, actually. It's been over 30 years since they set up the Republic, and all the other republics didn't last anything over 6 years. From 1960 up to 1993, each one was getting attacked by the military. But now that one of the military guys was actually president, I suppose he could level everything out. He was the good guy, but bad, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, it's a fun time. It's amazing. You see the sun go down at sea. Oh, I couldn't deal with going at sea. I'd scare the living daylights out of me. That would. The May 31st blue moon is the last full moon of spring, as the last to occur after the spring equinox, also called the vernal equinox. It's pinky red now. Okay, Mal. Sorry, okay. I was wondering at first, but it's like, it's pinky red. I wanted to wear a pinky red dress or something. No, why did I say that? No, forget I said that. Scratch that one from the record books. No, anyway, Shirley Mars. And there are two definitions of blue moons. The most common, and the one you likely know, is when two full moons occur in the same month. The second full moon is typically called a blue moon. Yes, the moon is big now. It's almost like daylight during the night here when it's full. Cool. Sunlight. Moonlight. Sunlight. Moonlight. It's like they swap the night shifts, but sometimes you can't even see the moon. It's a shame. I do like to occasionally look up and just like, I like to see that we've still got a moon there, which is good. It's good. So, quick, I'm just curious for you guys who are watching. Ever been to Ghana? You ever travelled? Because I've never travelled overseas, and I was wondering if you've actually seen what Ghana's like. If you've seen some of the culture, you've seen how now you spoke to some of the locals. Because I've had friends who have gone over to Africa, and they've been just let into somebody's house. They went over, and then they were invited. Didn't know them, because that's how they are apparently over there, which astounded me a little bit. It's like if somebody started saying to asking us, "Oh, can I pop over to your house for a bit?" It's like, oh, hang on a sec. What are you doing? You'd lock the blooming door. But over in the Africas and stuff, they're like, "Oh, come on in. I don't know you, but come on in. Want to have lunch? Let's have some bread and wine." It's like, I suppose they, I don't know if they see it that they probably not got much worth stealing, and I don't know how it is, but maybe just everybody's more polite over there. We're the rude ones around here, but oh well. I enjoy it. Moon shines in my windows at night. I don't know why I'm reading it like I'm doing a drama theme, like I'm doing some sort of. You've been over, Mowley. You've been overseas. I went to the Isle of Wight when I was in the Girl Guides. Ah, right. I've never been in the Girl Guides, so I don't. Funnily enough, being a boy, a big boy, I never went to the Boy Scouts though either, because that was essentially what the alternative was, wasn't it? I assume. I don't know. I never did any of that sort of stuff. I mean, that's fine if you do. I don't mind. You remember reading during the 1961 tour, the Queen famously danced with Ghana's President Kwame Nkrumah at a farewell ball in Accra, which many scholars believe was a symbolic moment in the history of the Commonwealth. Amen to that. Yeah, well, that was the beginning of the Republic. We just got into a year of the Republic. Oh, okay. Seems like quite a memorable moment for people then. But yeah, has everybody been in the Scouts or the everything? Oh, hi Terry, how you doing? You having a you having a laugh at us? We're just goofing. We're just having some fun here. I figure that's the best. That's the best way to do it. Uh, I forgot to mention the Kingdom of Dagmon, which was a northern part of Ghana at some point. So it's amazing how we came from the uh, Kintampo culture in the early times before the all the people came in, where they had the basic stuff, to a flourishing tourist destination now. It's amazing, all the photos and scenery. I mean, I love looking at the scenery of just photos of a picturesque view. I don't know how you feel, but when you see a photo of a place, it's like I want to go there, but I'd love a transporter beam, like you'd see in Star Trek or something. I had to push a button and just pop over for a bit and just say howdy to the locals, give them a thumbs up. You all right? Fist bump. Oh yeah, that'll work. I'll confuse the living daylights out of them, mine. But yeah, there. Your, your late father was a scoutmaster, and your brother became an Eagle Scout. Oh, I'm glad you showed up, though, Terry. It's good. It's good to have people here. It's good to have a nice showing, and I'm having fun. I hope those of you watching, whether it's now or whether you're watching at a later point, I just hope you enjoy having a laugh. And I enjoyed talking about. I've enjoyed talking about Ghana because there's loads of things about Ghana I probably haven't touched yet. There's lots of stuff that are probably unfound, and people are trying to dig for stuff. And this is one of those that actually doesn't involve the Romans really, because the Romans didn't really touch Africa back then. They couldn't. They didn't want to. They didn't want to cross the Sahara Desert. It was like It was like a wall to them. Though some of them did try and cross. Some of the Romans did try. I don't think they lasted too long. They didn't settle. They didn't set up shop in West Africa. The best they did was the top part, like Tunisia, where Carthage is, where they had the Punic Wars and stuff like that. But they never ventured far enough down to actually check out. Oh yeah, let's have a look. Let's just check it. Let's just check it out. If we don't like it, yeah, that's quite a journey. It looks really quick on a map, but we've got to think that it was probably a fair journey for them to actually move just a few miles. So going through the Sahara Desert, probably without food, water, or they probably used up all their supplies and they can't guarantee that there'll be supplies when they do eventually reach the end. So who knows? Who's having Earl Grey? Charlie Patrick's doing. Oh, you're going for the next generation. So that one's yours, is it? Must have been stayed a scout at the Isle of Wight. It must have been awesome. I was hoping Joanne would be here, as I wanted to tell her poem she wrote for Harriet was beautiful. Ah, I didn't hear the poem, but I hope it was good. Joanne is clever with it. Yes, she is very clever. She's a wonderful person, and it had been over 50 years since I was in scouting. Now I feel old. You're as old as you feel, Anna. You're as old as you feel, as I've heard people many times say stuff like that. If I'm as old as I feel, then I feel like I'm 900 years old. But anyway, I feel like I'm clicking in places where I shouldn't be clicking yet, or something, or stuff like that. 62 years young. Yeah, you're hanging in there, and I'm glad that you are. I'm glad that you're doing great things, and thank you for being able to come to my live streams and being supportful and being a moderator and helping with the chat, just keeping everybody in line. So eventually, when the massive flurries of people come in, and I'm quite happy with a nice, small, kind of intimate group of people to talk to, because I'll be honest, I'm not great with huge numbers, whether it comes to being, especially if it's face to face. I don't think I'm too bothered if I see the number keep growing here, because I can't see your judgeful looks. You're, I enjoy. Yeah. What is that? What is that month? I think I'm doing the history of dolphins, because I thought of it because I've got a friend who used to work with dolphins, and so it made me think, I'll have a look at those. And since I've been seeming to be doing at least one animal every year, I thought, figure, why not? I'll add a mammal into it. We'll see if I can drag that out for an hour. Actually, wow, we're 49 minutes in. The time has actually flown by. I'm always concerned when I get to the end of my notes that the show would just stop, but for some reason I just can't stop talking. But yeah, dolphins seems like a good thing, and maybe my friend, when I talk to him, he'll be quite pleased that I've decided to do a topic for him. He loved dolphins. My first stuffed toy was one of Flipper, the star of a 1960s sitcom. Yeah, I'm glad you all enjoyed it. You could stop talking, Chris, if you ate some chocolate. I haven't got any chocolate up here, I'm afraid. Or I'd stuff my face. Yeah, I'd just sit here, yeah, I'll just lounge it. Eh? Yes. Sorry, I don't think that's my style, but oh, it's a great laugh. This is so. I can't believe how much there is. I mean, the most big one of the empires that weren't the Europeans coming in was the Ashanti Empire, because that was a fairly important one, especially when we were having a few battles with them, and we eventually took them down, and then Ghana became independent in 1957, which is all amazing. Oh, that's such a. I have chocolate. He. Oh, you. Now you're trying to torture me, aren't you? You tried to send a chocolate. You're gonna just put a random piece of chocolate through the screen now. Just randomly see a chocolate come through the screen. Though I don't know I don't know what you've got. What have you got? What chocolate have you got? Maybe, maybe I won't like it. Maybe it's a caramel. Though I do like them. Biscuits and chocolate. I love. You gotta have. I love chocolate biscuits and stuff. Like chocolate digestives. You gotta love with the classics. Sweet torture. You have you have York peppermint patties. I don't know what they are, but as long as you enjoy them, you might have to show me a photo in a bit at some point. 'Cause I'm not fully sure what they look like, but I'm sure they're probably nicer. I assume you don't put them in a cob or a bun, burger burger bun. But yeah, I can't go wrong with the simple digestive biscuit. Always wonderful, easy. Though they do chocolate digesters with caramel inside the biscuit, which is lovely. Adds a nice chew to it as well. Nice power. Am I the only one? Oh, am I not the only one who's confused? I don't know. Maybe you all know what. Maybe I'm from a different planet and I've never heard of stuff. I know peppermint. I don't mind peppermint too much. I'm more of a spearmint guy. But hey, today I feel like I've tried covering most of West Africa instead of just looking at the land where Ghana is. I feel like I've been looking at more of the whole western area because of the Ghana Empire or Wagadu Empire. I've had to branch out a little bit. So it was the fact of the Ghana Empire that ins- inspired Mr. Kwame to name the name his country Ghana. So sounds fine to me. And well, Ghana is handy enough. You forgot you have some Tonex tea cakes as well. Oh, tea cakes aren't bad. Oh, Hershey. I was wondering if you were gonna say that they were Hershey because I know Hershey's chocolate are very, very popular over there. I remember doing the history of chocolate at one point. I remember doing that. I remember I've already done the history of chocolate. Now you're trying to get my memory jogged. But yeah, it's so good. Tea cakes, they're nice. They're always wrapped in a nice silver and with the red, silver and the red on it. Some, I think they have jam in it, or are they just marshmallow? Or am I thinking of something completely different? It's like maybe it's like somebody sat on a wagon wheel. Yeah, yeah. It's like somebody sat on on an original wagon wheel or a jammy wagon wheel. I don't know if you get wagon wheels where you are, but I think the wagon wheels that we get now have gotten smaller. You can almost put them in your mouth in one, and maybe I could anyway because I've got a. Before anybody says it, I've already got a big mouth. Yeah. Because I know where you guys come from. I know you guys are plotting something. I don't know what. I know. Yeah, I figured they were. They're not. Because somebody told me who was an elder person who told me. They told me that you could get them about that big at one point. You'd actually get a super large one at one point, and I'm like, I'd love to have seen one of those. I doubt I would have been I don't know whether I would have been able to eat it all in one go because I'd probably feel a bit sick. But to say the least, it sounds really good. It used to be huge, yeah. What's your favorite flavor? Do you like just the original, or do you like one with a bit of jam in it? Because there was also one where they did a double chocolate one as well at some point. I think. No, I'm not sure. Did they? I think it was like a limited edition thing. Oh, you like the jam one? Yeah, woman after my own heart. The normal ones are okay, but you've gotta have jam in it. It's a like having a like a ring donut. You need jam. I need a jam donut. Whenever I have whenever I have donuts, I've got to have a donut with jam in it. Though you have got to be careful when you have them jam donuts because you've got to notice where the hole is. I've made mistakes before and I was covered in jam because I ate the wrong end and then it flowed out. Yeah. Hey, if it wasn't for people in Ghana, we wouldn't have that look. We wouldn't have had that luxury of chocolate and stuff and all that you've got. Raspberry jam donuts. Yeah. I think because it's usually like Greg's or Birds where I usually get my service, my donuts from usually, and they're very nice. I enjoy it. I enjoy them. You gotta you've gotta love them. I mean, I've had like vanilla donut, custard donut. They're okay. It's just I don't know whether they feel that they have as much flavor to them. But Morrison's, why not? Go to Morrison's. I suppose they will have a bakery. Most superstores and stuff do have bakery sections as well, and they're probably maybe a bit on the cheaper side. So you can buy big packs, big boxes of stuff, fresh. You've got to keep it fresh, haven't you? Anyway, guys, it's been wonderful to have you guys here this month. And I hope to see you again next month when we dive into the dolphins. That was me just trying to be silly and clever. We're going to dive in and see what the dolphins are doing. And not the was it Miami not Miami Dolphins. Is that correct? Or is that just something I remember from Ace Ventura? Because I think that's what I'm remembering. I think in Ace Ventura it was Miami Dolphins. I'm not totally certain if that is actually a real team or it was just made up. It sounds like it could be a real team, but a lot of things. I'm sure you'll clear things up for me. Take good care. Looking forward to chatting next month about dolphins. I don't know. But thank you, everybody. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. Now I'll see you. Well, I'll see you. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up for me. The Miami Dolphins are a real professional football team in the US. Thank you. Now I can go to bed happy. Thank you. Because that's vital information now. Thank you. Okay, goodbye.